Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would like to look in on the members of the task force for coronavirus for COVID-19 because they're an interesting group. I wonder what their meetings are like. And what's happened to Pence? Where is he? We don't see him up at the podium. We see Trump every day and we turn him off because he just lies anyway. And so what is the next thing we see? Dr. Fauci. We look for something from him, right? Because he seems to be pretty on the level. Or we look for something from Dr. Brix, maybe. Yeah, she's got an amazing history. So she, very, very passionate in her fight against AIDS and raising awareness and research into AIDS. So very in the military. And so this was amazing. So she has an amazing history. And so I don't know much about her. I haven't read on her. So what is going on here, Spirit? And plus, we have some indication that what happens is Trump is always crashing these task force meetings, and then they don't get anything done when he comes. You know, it's like, oh boy, then what? You know, it's just, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You did see him like looming like a thundercloud over the group when others were at the microphone. I remember when Dr. Brix was talking about as the test numbers rise, so the numbers will rise, and we would expect that, and he just looked like, no, not going to happen. I still think at that point he was really trying to hold him back, actually, the testing back, and he may have been successful, even now still being successful at that. So, but let's look at all these things. Anyway, all right, spirits. So first of all, can you give us some insight about these meetings and the meetings that Trump crashes? Let's see. How do they go? Here, Pence is trying to be, the real president, but now he gets kicked off the podium. So let's see. We have victory here with the Six of Wands. So strange. I keep seeing that, but I don't feel like it means that there's victory in this. I almost feel like it means maybe that's Pence's victory, that he gets to be in charge of this. Certainly they talk about being victorious over the coronavirus, but let's see. We got the King of Coins. They talk a lot about economy too. They sure do. We've got the King of Wands. All right. So there is some political leadership there that is helpful, sort of rising political leadership. And they talk a lot about work. How do we get people to work? How do we keep as many people as possible working? They sure talk a lot about economy there, don't they? They do talk about fighting it as if we're going to fight this thing, like we're a nation at war kind of rhetoric. Boy, I just don't see a lot happening there for strides in man. I wish I could see a sword, some intellect, happening. Okay, let's see. Am I hearing that then Dr. Fauci and Dr. Brix, they're sort of not front and center? Is that what I'm hearing? Let's see, which is really troubling to me. I think that's what I'm hearing. But my frown is because, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. But I've ceased to be amazed. Well, murkiness. So there are some sort of top secret kinds of plans discussed there and numbers of deaths and what can we do? I feel like that means that and what should we tell the American public and what should we not? I do feel like we are not getting the whole story. We really are not. And even Dr. Fauci can't tell us everything. So there's some secrecy there. And I think it's done with the notion that they will decrease panic and does the American public need to know all that? Yeah, I hate to say that, but I have to share with you guys that I looked on my governor's a graph put out by my governor walls, and it was kind of concerning to me too, because so this stay-at-home order, is going to delay this peak, but they don't think it's going to really decrease it much. But it may decrease it some, but they're not counting on it decreasing it much, but hopefully delaying it until they can prepare with more ventilators, more masks, more ICU beds, all of that. But then there was some discussion of, will there be a second wave after everybody goes back to work? And almost like assuming there would be, but wanting to get people back to work sometime later this summer, for sure by then, maybe earlier, just so the economy doesn't come to a grinding halt. So, and then the second wave, by then we'd have testing and we'd be able to isolate cases and test a bunch, and maybe we wouldn't have to shut everything down again. Maybe we could manage it in a different way. So I'm wondering if that's a strategy they're talking about nationally as well. They don't think there's going to be a vaccine for a year and a half, a year at least. There might be a therapeutic with this anti-malaria drug, may help people to recover without the worst of the physical ramifications of this. They're walking in the dark too, though, with that moon, aren't they? I mean, there's a lot that is just unknown about this, but there's a lot they're not telling us too. And I don't even know that there's anything nefarious or unfair behind that, guys. I almost think that there's some things they're not telling us because they're hoping not to discourage people. They're hoping that we continue with the stay at home, because that really does help. It really does. Maybe they're hoping we continue. They're worried that if they tell us that we're only going to knock a bit off that spike with that, and we're not going to totally flatten the curve, maybe they're worried that we won't do it. I don't know. I think everybody I know is being very, very responsible and wanting to protect them, their families, protect themselves, protect everybody. So we have the Lover's card. And so still we do have the who are people in bed with kind of thing. And that's financially and that's politically. So still we do have agendas entering those meetings that are economic and for political donors. We do. We still have that. We still have that happening. And economic, protecting certain large corporations, or, it gets to be, I feel like Pence is good at this. I almost hear him presenting things in such a nice palatable way, like, oh, we have to protect our large industries and our corporations because we can't afford to have that many Americans permanently laid off or lose their jobs, or, you know what I mean? There's a way to put this that sort of doesn't tell the whole story, that decreases the emphasis on, also, I'm kind of reliant on those people, and all the Republicans are kind of reliant on those people for big donations so they get reelected, so we keep the Senate, all that. But look at this. Also, there's a sense of fate there. There's a sense of, so in those meetings, there's also a sense that this is a fated time in history and it's important. So there is some gravitas there. That is good. There is definitely that. Economics talked about a lot more than the numbers, the projections, the plan for containment. Yeah. Ace of Coins also, again, with let's have financial security. So that's interesting. The doctors are able to talk, but they're not given the front and center that we would like to see. What about when Trump enters the room? What's going on then, Spirit? Okay, let's see. We've got, oh gosh, then he does indeed talk about why should we help Democratic governors. He sure as heck does. He does. Democratic politicians, why should we do what they want? He's still fighting this battle Him against the Democrats in his mind. So that's crazy. And we have the Emperor. He comes in with disapproval. Sometimes the Emperor can signify like a leader who's just very stern. So he comes in with that. So he is still really hard to talk to. This is not any kind of teamwork. He brings in an idea. It's ideas that are in their infancy, that are not fleshed out. This is a wand, not a sword. The Page of Wands, not fleshed out, not mature, not considering all aspects of the situation. He just brings in a random idea. So that's what happens when he comes in. Wow. But I don't think it's all that productive for managing the pandemic, the actual pandemic. Anyway, let me look at Dr. Fauci's cards right now. Now, he is really intelligent, very, very, very intelligent, and very diplomatic, and able to let us know when he disagrees with something Trump said, but without taking on Trump, without, walking that fine line, doing that dance, trying not to upset him, and just trying to do what he needs to do. But I saw an interview of him this morning. He looked so tired. How is he doing? Okay, heart of the matter is the Fool. There's a new beginning. He's got a new idea, new beginning, new plan. He hasn't quit. The clarifier is Page of Coins. You know what? I think the man has adapted. I think if he needs to present this in economic terms, the economic benefits of hugely ramping up testing, and I feel like he really, really, really wants to ramp up testing to try to contain it the way South Korea did. To try to, especially in the parts of the country, and he did say something about this, the parts of the country, that don't have a lot of cases yet, to really ramp up testing there, isolate the cases, do contact tracing, be private eyes, and get it taken care of in all those areas. And he wants to sell it as economically advantageous. Okay. Underneath it all, victory. Yeah, he really does want to win over this thing. He wants to, win this fight. He does feel like he's at war then. Okay, so that language is not only among the politicians in the room, but the doctors too. They're fighting this war. To them, they are heroes. They are heroes. They want to do battle and save lives. So in the past, we have the Queen of Wands for him. So he's maybe had some communication with different politicians, maybe Nancy Pelosi. Above it all is the Hierophant, the medical profession, and the government. He understands both quite well. Of course he does. He's the director of the infectious diseases department, right? In the immediate future, we have the Knight of Coins. We can count on Dr. Fauci to keep on working. So that is terrific. That's good. Let me look at Dr. Brix really quickly. She speaks occasionally, a lot less than Dr. Fauci. She is an advisor, right, on infectious diseases. So, Dr. Brix, heart of the matter. Ace of Wands. This is an opportunity for her. Doing this work is an opportunity. She took it. An opportunity is being offered to her, though, as well as the challenge is Ace of Swords. So the challenge is, so this is a woman who is seeing a new opportunity here. Spirit is trying to talk to her, which must mean she has some spiritual receptiveness. So Spirit's offering her a new goal, a new direction, wanting her to step up, I think. And the challenge then is the Ace of Swords. Oh, I wonder if there's an opportunity for her to leak some information or give some information that might make the boss upset, but yet might need to be shared, like whistleblower kinds of stuff. I think so. She's thinking about it. She's very brave. Underneath it all, we have the Six of Swords. This is harder than she thought it would be. She's learning a lot. She's going to use what she's learning. It's not wasted on her. And the Queen of Cups behind, she is quite unruffleable. Is that a word? She is good at understanding people, working with people. She's nurturing. She's a Queen of Cups type. Calming. Okay, the Four of Coins above it all. She's going to hang on to her position. That's what's on her mind. Hanging on to where she's at so she can keep working at it. She's still trying to figure out how to do the best she can with what she has, with this opportunity that she has. And she's very much saving lives, about saving lives, as is Dr. Fauci. They're very clear on that. King of Coins in the near future. So what does that mean, Spirit? King of Coins in the near future is clarified by the Magician. She's working with some big business. How is she doing this? But then we've seen that. We've seen people go around Trump and, they're working directly with big business. Like GM had agreed and decided that they would be working on ventilators before they were ordered to do so, right? We've had, just like I saw in a previous reading, we have had big businesses and corporations coming forward to do their part a lot of times. And a lot of times just for the greater good, but also because, they want the economy to get up and running again too. If the administration that's in office right now won't solve this issue, then they will. It's that kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, I guess we've got to step up. All right, Spirit. So what is going on with Pence? What is going on with Pence? And how does he feel? Well, I kind of looked at him a little bit, didn't I? I didn't do a full Celtic on him. But he's just delaying. He's just sidelined again, because Trump cannot handle him getting all that attention. And frankly, it did look bad for Trump to know nothing about the whole situation and never be at the podium. That didn't look good for him. He did that the first couple of weeks. But, he could share the podium. Don't see him doing that. So this is a delay for him. The challenge is there's a lot for him to do, practically anyway. He is doing a lot then. Behind the scenes, phone calls. I see lots of phone calls. Trying to arrange interventions in a way that doesn't too much energy on not upsetting Trump, on at least providing him the sense that they are following his directions, because he's given him. He does not care. He is acting like the expert in the room, and he's giving the directions. Too much time and effort wasted there. I don't feel like they've let the doctors create a plan. They should just give it to them. Okay, what about the U.S. Surgeon General? 9 of Coins. Young man for the position, but obviously has accomplished a lot. And then we have the delay again for him too. That's the challenges with the delay. He's, roadblocks for him too. He would love to take this very seriously and get it going and get going. Not good, not good. What about that head of the CDC? And I did forget his name. Yeah. He's been out of the spotlight some because he's just really bungled it. But what about him? The Emperor in the heart of the matter challenge is the Star. He's challenged to be hopeful or peddle hope. I think sell hope, make people hopeful. The Page of Cups below, little bit of good news in his subconscious. He's looking for a little bit of good news. Past, standing his ground, just barely. Above, Trump is very involved with him because we see Trump in his awareness up above the situation, and we see sort of that emperor. Also, he's in trouble with Trump. The disapproval is coming from Trump for him. Maybe that's why we don't see him. Immediate future, magician. Manifest something. Not that he's out of the running. He will be talking. He will be speaking of a plan. Okay. And he will keep hanging in there, trying to move this thing forward. He makes too many concessions, I want to say politically, for political purposes, but who else would be in that position? Who else would Trump choose for that position? So, okay, Spirit, is there anything else you want to tell us about this whole thing? There's some really good people involved there who keep trying, is what I'm getting. And then there are others who consider political issues and economic issues way too much. But yet, economics are important. I don't want to say they're not, because they are. They are important. They're important for all of us too. So that's, that's not, I'm not saying they shouldn't talk about it. Okay, Spirit, what about the economic plans? What kinds of things are they thinking? Heart of the matter. Well, they're thinking about the stay-at-home quarantines. They're thinking about that. They're thinking that's important right now. And therefore, we did have Trump say, okay, I'm extending. We're not going to hope to be done with this by Easter. And we're, in fact, extending it through the 30th. So they are thinking whatever economic planning we do have, we have to take that into account. Clarifier 10, too much attention paid to the generational money. Okay. But then again, that could be stability too, Underneath it all, we have the 10 of Wands. They feel very worried, very concerned, very overburdened by the economic issues. Well, it's complex, it is important. It is important. The past, but they're having a hard time then seeing their way forward. Maybe they're trying to consider too many priorities, and they're having a hard time just focusing on the main priority. Past is the Fool. This is a brand new thing. We have to figure this out. Above it all, 2 of Wands, looking out across the sea at the other economies. China a lot. I feel like China a lot. We're dependent upon China a lot. A lot of the supply chains come from China. These 2 economies, China and the U.S., are very interdependent, as well as China and many other economies and Western economies. So it's just, they're looking at that. What about stability over there? 3 of Wands, watching and waiting. Yeah, a lot of talk about international economy. So that's why. So this is why I'm seeing all this talk about economy. It really is happening in those meetings a lot. Good, but anyway, we need the tests. We need the tests. We need the tests. If we want to protect the economy, we need the tests. Because that's the only way we're going to get people back to work sooner rather than later, is do tons of testing. That's the only way we're going to do it. So I'm going to end this with, and 7 of Cups. What are we going to say instead of the truth? What do we want to leave the American people with to motivate them in the way we want to motivate them? For their own good, of course, Anyway, I think they sometimes underestimate us. Let me ask a little bit about the tests. So they have a rapid test apparently, and apparently there's going to be so many more tests. However, reports from the front lines are saying, no, there really isn't. They're still really only being used for people who have very severe cases most of the time. Or healthcare providers, or residents of long-term care facilities, those kinds of populations. So, Spirit, are there more tests? Are there going to be more tests? Is it going to look like South Korea with the rapid testing? 10 of Wands. It's still very burdensome. Okay, clarifier is 3 of Cups. There is some celebration. We do have a breakthrough in that. Okay. Underneath it all, we have the 9 of Wands. We're so used to hearing there's going to be tests and then there are no tests. There's going to be and then there are none, that we start to think it's never going to happen. But that would be a mistake. In other words, we will get more tests. Okay. Past is the 10 of Swords. Everybody's like fed up with that. This is just too harmful. This has caused too much damage. The delay in getting effective testing and rapid testing and abundant testing. So we have the Page of Coins. So there is a new plan for increased health for everybody. And then the King of Cups in the near future. Yeah, that's just about the time, riding out the turbulence. So in other words, I feel like that means that it's not tomorrow that we get all kinds of testing, but it is coming, so there will be some more turbulence with that before people are starting to feel a little more secure that they can get tested. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while before it's widespread, this testing, but we'll get there, is what I'm seeing. We will get there. Okay, Spirit. So, I just might as well ask, will there be another stimulus? Because apparently there's an argument that we'll need another 2 trillion stimulus coming soon. So is that the case, Spirit? Well, let's pull 3. Okay, we've got the 5 of Swords. Corporate America sure thinks so. Oh, yes, we need it. We need it. We need it now. Profits. The Strength card. Yeah, a lot of times that Strength card has meant the strength of those interests in our government, the strength of politicians who serve their interests in government, the political strength. So I think the answer is yes. I don't think soon, but I think the answer is yes, that will be it's already in the works. 3 of Coins. They're already consulting about it and building it, backroom discussions already. Telling heads of big business, corporations, don't worry, it'll come. So, and that news is given, I think, to certain heads of corporations, certain big business, so that people don't abandon their investments in the stock market entirely, So, yeah, it'll be coming. Will it be like really soon? I feel like it'll be sooner than I would think. Queen of Swords. Well, there's going to be some debate about it, some challenging of it. Okay. Because the first stimulus bill, relief bill, whatever you want to call it, did not put enough controls on big business. We are shocked, by the way. We are so shocked that I'm sorry, the sarcasm, but that they didn't put a lot of controls on big business. So they can't have stock buybacks for a year, I believe. 1 year, whatever. They didn't put enough strings. They didn't, and there was AOC out there saying, hey, this isn't okay. We need to expect more. Pelosi was saying that. But it looks like this next stimulus bill would be similar. Secrets, in bed with politicians, yes. Yeah, I think so. But then again, to ride out the waves, So it's one of those situations where it's less than ideal, but it's going to be sold as, hey, we have to stabilize things. We have to keep things stable despite the turbulence. Okay. So there we go. But I think there will be another one. Will there be help for Americans in that one again? At least some help like this one has had. Well, we got the Magician. We got the Ace of Swords reversed. We got the Empress. Well, it's not sure yet. Yeah, something will be manifested, sure. But there might be some trickiness with it too with the Magician. Pregnant with the possibility hasn't been entirely decided, but I don't like the Ace of Swords, reversed. It's almost, well, let me think. Ace of Swords reversed. It doesn't negate that it's there. Spirit's trying to offer them help and clarity, but it's reversed, so I don't know if they're really listening. That's kind of what that is. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We shall see what all happens there. These are a lot of questions that pop into my mind as I'm watching all of this footage on the news. And so I hope these are questions that pop into your mind too, and this is helpful. Oh, Spirit, any advice for us? And I thank you so much for your help. Source, any advice for us all? Okay. We've got the Chariot, we've got the Devil, and we've got the World. Well, I'll be darned. All right. Look at those powerful cards. Yes, we're in the Chariot. Yes, we are. We have no reins. We are being dragged forward, pulled forward, flying through the heavens. Don't know where this is ending. But that is good positive energy that can bring some needed change. And we have the Devil. Now, the Devil is a lot of times greed and avarice, you guys, in my readings, in my political readings. But then this could also be, we're bedeviled by this. We're bedeviled by it, the worries and all of that stuff. And worrying and ruminating on things doesn't help. So sometimes this is, sort of like have some faith that's, we can be taken a good place too with this. The World to me is like a reassuring card. It's sort of like there's already success over this in the spirit realm. You know what I mean? It's like the day will come when there will be success over this. There's already success over this in the spirit realm. And the whole world is involved with this. And it's a completion. It brings us all together to fight a common enemy. Not to say that there won't be infighting and squabbling and troubles in the meanwhile, but this does help to unify things in the long haul with this thing. Yeah. Well, anything else, Spirit, that we should be doing? Here we go again. Okay, so Spirit is always wanting to be reassuring, giving us the World card, saying, hey, it's already a success on our side. We already see it. Okay, good. That's good. Always trying to help us. And the 9 of Coins is, please enjoy what you have. Also, I feel like that World card, again, Spirit is always reminding us that there is much success already that the human race has accomplished, and we can enjoy that. We can enjoy that with this 9 of Coins. Be outside, enjoy being outside, enjoy nature, enjoy your harvest. All right. Well, there's nothing wrong. In other words, while you may be bedeviled by this, there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself too. That really, it strengthens you. It shows faith that this has already been conquered in the spirit realm. We'll get there. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a good thing. All right. Well, I thank you all so very, very much. You take care. Hang in there. Bye-bye.